Hey, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite a while. But I'm just happy to be back, and I'm hoping that the consistency will continue to grow. You know, we're a work in progress. Oh, I just want to check myself. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much to everybody that's been keeping me motivated, asking me when the next video has been coming out and that kind of stuff. I really do appreciate it, because I think in the long run it actually does go a long way that there are people who are kind of out there waiting on the content that I was kind of eluding or saying that I was going to give. So I really do appreciate that. And I was speaking to a very amazing woman the other day, and she said it is very important to hold yourself accountable for the goals and the plans that you set, because if you don't hold yourself accountable, then you just let things slip aside. Okay, today I'm too tired, or today it's this, or Kasani it's that, and so to hold yourself accountable is actually a really big thing. I just have a Thursday thought. I want to see if I can try and do these every Thursday. I have a Thursday thought. I have a couple of Thursday thoughts, if I can remember, because so now the camera just decided to not participate. So the camera is getting fixed. It's on my phone, and I should have written it down. But I remember there were really three big things I think that I really wanted to talk about, or to have as my Thursday thought. The one is definitely that holding yourself accountable. I feel like a lot of things are happening to us, and we're not holding ourselves accountable for our part in those things. And our part could just be the reaction to those things. You know, how we react to situations and happenings in our lives plays a huge role, and could be somewhat of a domino effect. So if something is happening at home, you bring it to work. Something's happening at work, you bring it home. And it's very important to if you are setting goals, you need to make sure that each goal is in its lane, right? So you need to kind of make sure that you are accountable in each way. If you said at work, this is what you're going to bring, at home, this is what you bring to your friends, to your family, and that kind of thing. So accountability is a very big thing, and not just in that kind of light, but we've been making so many plans, and I think we've realized over the last year, and you know, certainly the second half of the year last year was where, you know, things really got kind of hectic, in that, you know, all the plans that people had, from minor plans to like major plans, everything was completely on its head. And you know, a lot of things were able to sort of fall to the side, or actually fall all the way off. But that leaves you sort of with a sense of emptiness, because I found that I had planned to do so many things. I wanted to host sleepovers, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, and that's for young girls trying to really grow that mentorship program that I've been talking about so much. And to find, you know, the world kind of coming to a standstill, and just being in the house and being face to face with your mental health, face to face with your aloneness, you know, face to face with really just you, and everything, you know, kind of came to the spotlight, what you need to achieve, what you need to get through. So I believe that it's very important to take your goals back. You know, I think don't let the world and what's happening now to really throw you off, in a sense that, you know, everything just kind of falls off, or everything is kind of cancelled in that way. Don't cancel yourself. Everything else can get cancelled or postponed. Don't cancel on yourself. Don't postpone on yourself. Just do it. Just like really just begin. And so that would be the one thing. The other thing is see things through. Really, it's so important to see things through. I find that we actually, in as much as this has been quite a tough and interesting time, we're probably in our most creative of times. where, you know, we're coming up with solutions for almost every single problem that we didn't even think that one day you would think of an invention that would, you know, help people open the door, for example, without having them touch the handle. There are lots of things that are like, and that's really just a random thing. I don't know anybody who's invented that, but I just feel that, you know, we are really in our most creative time, and everything that you said that you wanted to do, tap into that. Do what you can. Start small, start big if you are able to, but you really just need to start. And then you need to follow through. And I'm talking to myself because I'm so bad. I'm so bad. I start things, and literally if I get thrown off, which is definitely going to happen because life is set up that way. If I get thrown off even by the slightest of things, I find, you know, my whole mood changes. I don't feel driven. I don't feel passionate. But at the end of the day, you know, it's me that I'm going to kind of let down. And, you know, in the same breath though, I do want to say that we need to be kinder to ourselves. I know that sounds really, really contradictory. I know that sounds really, really contradictory. But, you know, we're in a creative time, but we are also in a very interesting time. And I'm saying it in the same breath because I feel like now anything is possible. Now we can do anything if we really put our minds to it, but we also need to be so gentle with ourselves and so kind to ourselves that, you know, if something doesn't work out, then just try something else. You know, don't give up on yourself completely. And that's what I mean by be kinder to yourself. So I'm saying go after everything. But don't put too much pressure on yourself that everything needs to work out at the same time, because everything can work out, but it might not work at the same time. So the podcast can do okay, the YouTube channel is going slower, but social media is doing okay, but work is doing the best, you know what I mean? So there are lots of different types of levels, and it's very, very important. I just really, really think that it's important to keep in mind to be so much kinder to yourself. Be gentle with yourself and give yourself time. You know, the thing about it is that if you start, but then, you know, you need to give yourself time to grow. Don't expect everything to happen overnight, because things do not happen overnight. The biggest thing, I've been saying all of these are the biggest things basically, but the one thing that I think that we should go into the year, and I say that very cautiously because we are at the middle of February, honey, almost the end of February, so we're basically in the year. But going forward, it is so important to manage your own expectations and manage expectations just in general. Managing expectations is so important for us this year, because we're basically all going through the same thing. This is the most bizarre time where at some point we were all going through a breakup. At some point we were all going through a job loss. At some point we were all at funerals, you know. We've all lost parents, we've lost family members, we've lost quite a number of things. So it's so important to now start to, you know, you kind of reshuffle yourself. And I think, you know, when I say manage expectations, I would want for myself and for you maybe to start with your own expectations. Set expectations only just for yourself, because if you set expectations for other people, I find that there's so much more room to get disappointed. And, you know, with disappointment, if you're a person that has had an interaction or a journey somewhat with mental health, you know, disappointment and rejection are, you know, just sort of number one triggers. And, you know, if you have set those expectations for somebody, whether you have communicated them or not, I find that we're really in a time where things are just so interesting. You can communicate those expectations to me. Say, my expectations for this relationship are 1, 2, 3. The other person would say, okay, that's fine. I could do 3 and 2. 1, maybe not so much, but I can try. And you do all of this, and you guys flow, and you this, and then it just doesn't work out. Your reaction to that is everything to you. You can either snowball back into that deep dark place, or you can actually just take that and use it to empower yourself, or to kind of strengthen yourself. You know the cliche, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And it really does. It makes you stronger for the next experience. And I find that the thing is, things happen so rapidly and just on top of each other that we're not having time to find the lesson in something. While you're learning one lesson, another one, another lesson, hey, you can't breathe. So, and then you just kind of lose it. Center yourself. Center yourself. Come back to your expectations. My expectations for this year is to follow through with what I said. My expectations for this year is to not have too high expectations for people. I don't even know if that was the right English. We're gonna be okay. But you know, that's my expectation for myself. My expectation is to stop expecting too much from others. My expectation is to stop being entitled to what I think is for me from others. You know, entitlement is really going to be the end of us. And you know, crazy expectations. So manage your expectations for yourself. Hold yourself accountable for the things that are happening in your life, whether created by you or created by other people. And even if they are created by other people, your reaction is going to determine how your life goes. You know, are you going downhill, or are you stepping forward? Are you keeping your head up high? And definitely see things through. Miss Rose, see things through. See things through, babes. That's it. That's really what I wanted to say. I'm trying to get myself to just do random content, but meaningful at the same time, to kind of get myself back into the groove. As you guys have seen, kind of reintroduce the channel, because I really appreciate everybody that is here, all the subscribers and the new ones, just so that they'll have an idea, because you know, obviously things change and things like that. So that's it from me for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to comment down below. I would really love to hear your opinion. I really enjoy hearing people's stories as well. Don't know what I'm doing with my hands. Love hearing from you. I love hearing all your stories, and I would love for us to interact more. Share this with a friend, share this with a sister, a brother, a friend, or a colleague. I just said that there. Share this with anybody. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being part of Life with Miss Rose. Bye.